Hello and welcome back to Mining Network. I'm joined by Kelly Malcolm, the VP of Exploration over at Amex Exploration. Kelly, good to see you.
Pleasure, thanks so much. Lovely to be here.
Good. Let's start things off with a very brief overview, market cap ticker, where the company is and where the projects are located.
Market cap around $200 million, Amex Exploration. Something that differentiates us from a lot of people at this conference is that we have a lot of capital. We raised $50 million that closed in February of this year. Right before this market pullback that I'm sure everyone that's speaking to you has been talking about.
Yep.
So thankfully in a very strong financial position, executing with 10 drills on the project, and our properties are in Quebec.
Before we get into the thick of the projects and everything else, just touch on your background and if you can, maybe a little bit about the management team around the project.
So I'm a geologist. I've been in the industry for a little over 10 years. Started with a company called Detour Gold, which was bought by Kirkland Lake, now is Agnico. Had a really great exploration career there, where started working out just grassroots, soil sampling, bagging dirt. Ended up being involved in the discovery of a high-grade gold deposit that we call 58 North, which is a satellite to the main Detour Lake open pit. Got to work on the Detour pit a little bit, and then started my own junior company in 2017. Did that for a couple of years, ended up joining Amex as a VP Exploration at the end of 2018, early 2019, coincident with our discovery of the high-grade gold zone.
A lot of gold background there.
Very much gold focused, yes, hard, in a big way.
Before we again move on to the real specific, you released a press release, I think, this morning. Do you mind just touching on that a bit?
I would love to. So this morning we put out our first follow-up announcement to a VMS discovery that we made. So we've discovered high-grade copper. The reason that's important is, well, we can talk about the project in a minute, but our property package is like this. Right over here, outside of our package, but along the same stratigraphic horizon, there's a past-producing VMS mine. Went from surface to 2.4 kilometers, mined for over 50 years. A lot of people have looked for VMS mineralization on our property. This is the first real zone of what potentially will be economic mineralization identified to date. So we announced 7 holes. Our top hole was 6 meters plus of around 2% copper equivalent. And we released about 7 holes, all very similar grades, ranging in width from about 2 meters to the 6.5. So very, very, very positive, showing that it's a real deposit. And now it's up to us to identify the size and the scope of it.
Let's talk about the main project.
Yes.
Can you just give us a bit of an overview in terms of the current amount of work that you've done at the moment? Obviously, you're still exploration stage, but what does it look like in terms of the geology and actually what sort of grades and what sort of size are we looking at here?
Lots of questions. I love them all.
Yeah.
So in terms of what we've done, again, speaking in superlatives, we have the biggest drilling program, I guarantee, at this whole conference. We have 10 drills, actively turning, drilling about 10,000 meters a month. Most of the money that we raise is all flow-through dollars, so it all has to go directly in the ground. So we are active. The $50 million we raised will go into the ground by year-end 2023. Speaking to the project itself, what have we done? We've drilled a lot of holes since 2019. We've drilled about 290,000 meters since discovery. We are working towards a resource, working towards a PEA, preliminary economic assessment. Grades are superlatively, again, probably the best here. So in 2021, we drilled, our best hole was 6.1 meters of 102 grams per ton gold.
Wow.
Our 20th best hole, I know that because I know the chart very well. Our 20th best was 4.5 meters of an ounce per ton. So we really, really deliver high-grade gold over mineable widths on a consistent basis. That's been what we've done since 2019. We've also got some low-grade gold mineralization, sort of 100 meters of a gram type stuff. Copper mineralization.
And just start at surface, or?
Everything starts directly at surface. We've drilled the high-grade zone in particular, the one with obviously the very high-grade gold. Starts about 50 meters below surface. We've drilled it down to 1.35 kilometers or so. Denise zone, which is the big broad one, starts directly at surface. Grey Cat at surface. Gratien at surface. So yeah, from near surface to deep.
And I think you were mentioning as well, I think we had a quick chat, but you were saying that you've already done some metallurgy work on it as well. So does it actually look, obviously it's great having gold in the ground, but will it be recoverable, do you think?
We actually put the press release out and we got calls like, you guys don't know what you're talking about, it's not possible. So we released 99%, better than 99% recoveries.
Wow. Okay.
It was like 99.97. or 99.7% recoveries. We did 3 composite samples. We had genuinely spectacular recoveries of gold. But the thing, aside from getting all the gold, is great, but the way that we could recover the gold is really special. So it's all recovered by gravity. Okay. Our worst composite was 75% of the gold came out by gravity. Our best composite, which is the highest grade one coincidentally, better than 90% of the gold came out via the gravity circuit. So that is by far the cheapest way to process gold mineralization. So we love to hear that.
Just going back to, I guess, the rocks in the ground, as a geo, say you were talking to another geo in a pub and you had to explain what you had in the ground in geological terms, how would you explain it?
So we've got an orogenic gold system that scavenged some existing metals from a VMS system. The VMS in this case is older than the gold. We're in a big rhyolite package within a larger greenstone belt. We have the low-grade gold will be sort of primary mineralization along the major shear zones, and our high-grade gold occurs along secondary structures as vertically dipping lodes or vertically dipping ore sheets. I guess that's not very layman, but it's not.
No.
That's how I would explain it. And then the VMS mineralization is simply stretched, beautiful, copper-rich VMS mineralization.
If we can, let's touch on company structure. Yes. So obviously you're cashed up at the moment, but what can you tell us about how many shares are out?
So 101 million shares, no warrants, which we're proud of. Our last 2 financings were done without warrants. The balance of our recent warrants were exercised in November, December. 6.5 million options, so around 110 million or 108 million shares fully diluted. Biggest shareholder, Eric Sprott, holds about 12-13% of the company. He's played in financing since 2019. Second biggest shareholder, it's a toss-up between a fund, a Luxembourg-based fund, and the CEO, Victor. Victor owns about 4.5% of the company. Number of institutions hold sort of a 1-2% stake. There's some other people I can't really talk too much about that are involved in a big way. So there's lots of great shareholders, and what's basically happened as we started advancing the project and developing and raising more money is we sort of transitioned from a dominantly retail shareholder base to a lot more institutions holding, although we do have a very good retail following, and honestly retail investors are really who set the price in the market, so come on over.
I think the main thing is obviously now you've got this cash. What are you going to do with it, really? I assume you'll probably be doing some more exploration on the main deposit. You've got now this awesome copper target that needs to be drilled out.
Yeah.
Can you just talk us a little bit through where these 10 drill rigs are and really what the plan is over the next couple of months in terms of how you're going to be adding value to this company?
Yes. So the money is all earmarked for direct exploration. We're going to use some of it to advance our modeling, building wireframes and all that fun stuff for a resource. Some for economics, of course. Yeah. We're doing actually the first ever real geochem program on the property. So we have a crew of students right now up in the bush, bark sampling. Yep. And basically you're sampling the bark and then hoping that the metal ions travel up into the bark of these black spruce trees, and we're testing that to see if we can get a signature of gold or copper or zinc or anything, just identifying some anomalies. We have a helicopter on site that is doing a heli-supported drilling campaign, accessing areas of the project that we typically can't get to around the year, either due to water or due to lack of road access. So one of our drills is, like I said, doing this regional work, which I'm really hopeful about. We have some wonderful targets to follow up on. The balance are working on expansion of known mineralization. So we have 9 drills expanding. So we've largely done the definition drilling required to conduct a resource on the property. What we're doing right now is beefing everything up. So this year we put out some great results from Denise, basically doubling the strike length of that system. There's indications that we're going to be able to double the new doubled strike length based on historical drilling. So we're going to be doing some of that work. We're building a road actually to access the eastern portion of that zone, doing a lot of on-strike drilling to the high-grade zone, as well as doing some really deep holes, fingers crossed, on the high-grade zone, drilling to about 1.5, 1.6 kilometers vertically. So I'm nervous, but very optimistic about our chances of success there. And lots of work, essentially.
When can people expect the MRE and then following that, the PEA?
It's a question that I'm asked all the time, and I apologize if they give flaky answers. So we're targeting sort of year end, with the caveat being that we've always said if we keep finding a lot more gold, we're going to incorporate the gold. So in this case, Denise, the extension drilling has gone better than expected. We drilled 30 meters of 11 grams in our farthest ever step out on that system. That's a hard number to ignore. So we are going to do some more work on Denise. We'll see how the summer goes, see how that program goes, and that will dictate accordingly when the resource comes out. And it's a terrible answer because I'm asked all the time, and it's a good problem to have. We keep finding gold and finding copper.
Well, exactly. I don't think anyone, although it'd be great to see some numbers in terms of the sheer scale of it because it sounds enormous.
Yeah. We do have a number of analysts following us. I can't obviously verify or speak to their numbers, but if you check on our website, we have 4 different independent analysts covering us.
Are you able to mention what they say in terms of how large the resource would be?
No, I'm not really. I can tell you the range, but I'm really not supposed to validate
no, that's okay.
any of it. I'd like to, but I can't.
No, we'll have to be patient and wait. That's fine. But no, that's exciting. So you've got a load of drilling to come. In terms of news releases and sort of news flow, it sounds like we'll be seeing a lot over the next 6 months.
Sure. We do kind of news it depends. We like to batch up our releases.
Yep.
So we like to put a number of holes from each zone. So we'll try to do 10 or 20 holes from the high grade zone, another one 10 or 20 holes from Denise. In this case, we did the 7 holes from the VMS zone. So whenever we have a nice batch of results, we try to do it every month. We've got a hungry news audience, so we start to get phone calls after about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So we try to do about a month. And then aside from drill results, we are doing more metallurgy work, focused on Denise and Grey Cat. So that will come out sometime soon. Results from this regional program will come out sometime soon. We're doing some geophysics we might release if it's material, if there's something great that pops up. And then the big one, obviously our biggest catalyst, is the MRE and the PEA. And I don't know when that would be 100% yet, but targeting the end of the year.
Brilliant. All right, well, brilliant to chat to you. Thanks for coming.
Lovely. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. It's a pleasure.